we are here on number 12, I believe. Really, I did not expect this to take this long. Estimate. Don't trust them. Okay, let's gonna think what is going on over here. And I think I believe the issue is still with the bonus rolls. But I'm starting to believe that we don't have a nice way of triangulating those rolls, yeah? So, let's go now. Add something more basic. So I think, who knows? Well, we will know in a second, or a few minutes. Let's gonna remove, oops, that goes, and we have one over here, one over here. Okay, so this one should be 20 if I have calculated correctly. If I have calculated correctly. Oh, this passing because we have modified the normal test. What we have done is modify the specs, yeah? I just want to make sure that with this one we are not dealing at all with the bonus rolls. We can see over here that the issue is with the bonus roll. There are a couple of more things that we can do around bonus rolls. Oops. And I have seen another thing that is going to be failing. So, that is 18 over here, 20, 30. That should be 30, I believe. Come over here, let's gonna check this. Let's gonna see what happens over here. It could be possible that I'm mistaken. It's not 30. So, oops, did I yes? I know. Okay, let me see. Calling calculator. This one. But, so I have done the calculation correctly. That means that our logic is incorrect. So the logic in the code, yeah, which is fine. We have found where the issue actually happens. And I have realized that there's another issue that we'll have to investigate in a second. let's gonna see. Somehow we are getting 39 instead of getting 30. Ah, of course. This is the wrong logic over here, so let's gonna fix it. Index, now this one is about looking into the past, but this one is the Islas frame and start is about looking into the present. Yeah, so me and my fingers. So we need this one over here, this one over here, and this one over here. We need to rename this because that is this index +1, index +2 is just awful. Okay, we have changed from looking into the past to looking into the present. Calculating from the present position. Hey! Fix! Actually, there's still one issue that I'm thinking of. And is when the last frame is a spare. So let's gonna have 9 here, that becomes the spare, and we can go here, spare on last frame. So this one, the normal test will pass. This is spec kind of a spec test. Well, it's a spec test. Again, a bit tone in check. Checking tone? Tone in check? I don't remember. Tone in check. Check. Tone in check. The spare, of course, is not being calculated correctly, yeah? Which, well, first, it's not 30. Let's gonna correct that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. We have 18 over here. Plus 9 is 28, plus 1 is 29. But we are finding 28. That's because the last spare is not being done correctly, and we have to basically what we have over here we have to add same thing. I'm just gonna use this one. Okay, I believe that's the only thing that we need to do. Oh, of course. Why has worked with all the unit tests? Oh, not 100% sure about that. Let's gonna see about this. Everything passing. So now we can do any kind of calculation with this one. Yeah. So in theory, we are done with it. And under normal circumstances, I would say yes, we are done with it. If there are no new requirements, we don't have to look into this code. There are things over here that I actually dislike. By the way, let's gonna go up. Let's gonna add all these. Let's gonna do a couple of quick renames over here. So this one is this. On passing. All passing. Okay, few things to think about over here before. I think we are gonna leave it at this point. Even when there are things that I don't like, which we can talk about in a second. These three methods are private, are only seen by the code over here. That's absolutely fine. They don't have their own separate check. Doesn't matter. It's not important. We have, because they are not being used anywhere else. They are not public. Nothing. More considerations to take into account. I hate this. Oh, this is just awful in all sense of the word. I mean, this is gonna be difficult to change. If for whatever the reason there are new requirements, this kind of code. Look at how many issues I have had with one by one errors. The fact that all this, you have so many levels over here, is killing me. It is truly awful. There is the fact that previous frame is a spare. It depends on looking at the previous frame, but the previous frame is stacked, it doesn't. No, it does actually. Oh no. Okay, yes, that's it. We are looking at the current one and keeping that information instead of looking at the previous one. So in fact, we could actually, let's gonna do it very quickly. frame strike. Previous frame strike, where it is being used. Previous frame strike, we pass the index. If we do this, oops, this one over here is not being used any longer. Oh, I have realized that we are not done. There is one, I think there is one issue that we fixed that, which was the multiple strikes in a row. Okay, now that's slightly better. I have this code index all over the place. Okay, let's not change it because it's just it bothers me. Yeah, actually it bothers me. Frame. So if I do that, everything should still be passing. I am just giving a name, so I can come over here. Frame. Frame. I'm not changing over here anything structurally. I'm just giving slightly better names, yeah. So I can deal with all of these nicely. This is it reads better, which is what I'm interested on. It reads better. This one should be next. Should be the next frame, and the frame after that. But still, I think there is improvements that we could do at this point. Frame looks superb. Other than that, we are using 10 all over the place, and I hate magic numbers. I don't like magic numbers. Let's gonna do this. Private cons max pins in frame, which is equal to 10, and this will be an integer. Okay, it's I believe, if I remember correctly, max pins in frame. Oh, that's so much better. It has the advantage now that we have done this. If you want to do you are gonna be able to do different types of sizes. Yes, this is actually frames, not pins. Do we have anywhere else where we are using pins? That's frames, that's frames, that's frames. Actually, frames as well is something that should be extracted. Private frames pins max frames. Okay. Just because two numbers are the same doesn't mean that they represent the same thing, yeah? So let's gonna dot max frames. That should pass all the tests. I'm just gonna see if I remember correctly we can do this. Now, this is one of the things that bothers me a lot. The fact that the index we have to do that -1 over there. It's because of a detailed implementation of the language. That's not logically from the point of view of the game. That is not correct. Yeah, that should not be the case. We are having to do that just because we are dealing with a for loop. Actually, let's gonna change this. If we do this over here, yeah, again, max frames, the maximum frames that you can have in a game is 10. It is not 9. It's just we are using because we are looking at the collection one by one using the for loop. We are having to deal with the fact that it's a zero-based index. But when we are thinking about the logic of the application, that is absolutely wrong. It is not the right thing. So the solution for this, it will be to go back to the aggregate. Aggregate is the right thing to do. The reduce, yeah. Reduce doesn't take into account the implementation of the language that is hidden from you, or the whole for loop is being done by the reduce. The only problem that you have with the reduce is that the reduce, it cannot look at the future, it only looks at the past. So if we want to do that, we have to change completely how this works. At the moment, all of this is looking into the future. Index +1, index +2, that's looking into the future to get information. An aggregate cannot do that. So you're gonna, if we want to do an aggregate, which for me it will be the better option, we have to change the logic that we are using over here. Now that will take some time. I'm gonna leave it for this time around. I'm gonna leave it over here as it is. But if I need to do any additional change on how the code works in terms of adding a new requirement, for example, okay, stable in kata, that's not gonna change. That's fine. But yeah, once you add an aggregate, lots of this stuff over here is so easily transformed. Okay, that is the bell has gone on my head. We are done with this exercise. We have finished the bowling kata. Again, it's the first time I actually finish it, which is it explains some of the issues that I have forgotten about, which, to be honest, is what you're gonna encounter when doing requirements. Yeah, when doing an actual production work, you don't have the full requirements in advance. There is this back and forth that it has happened on my code. It's what it happens when you are dealing with requirements that are coming from the client, with a feature that is coming from the client. Things do change often. So the whole flow, it hasn't been a flow of someone that knows the kata back to front and can do it on the sleep, or has rehearsed how to do the kata, therefore it already has all the ideas. It has been just trotting along, same way that you will do with any kind of production code. Which at the end I have enjoyed that a lot. I have to say that I have enjoyed quite a lot all the work that has been done over here. I'm not gonna put this on GitHub or GitLab or SourceHat. Yeah. Katas, you do them once, you delete them. Don't keep a kata. That's the point. They're good for practicing, but that's it. They should be practicing, yeah? You shouldn't keep the kata in your system for long. There is no, you don't want to do that. You want to think, what is important is about the thinking and how you approach different elements. And maybe if I do the kata again, I will be doing things slightly different to what I have done at this point in time. Maybe the next time I do a bit more thinking up front, and then I go into a classicist way of doing it. Yeah. This one I have been mixing a bit. Started with outside in, getting the full game, and then start looking at the different pieces and start trying to put them together. The whole frame class, that part was pure classicist. Yeah, you have the frame, and then after I have the frame, I start injecting it onto the right positions. It was interesting that I did thought about the frame before Pomodoro 4, I think. I thought about the idea of getting the frame in place, and at the end I didn't do that. Oh, really? I did not find. Huh. Interesting. I thought I was continuing frame count, and at the end I didn't use it. Which is, by the way, is one of the problems that I find with classicist styles, yeah? It's too easy to create something that you are actually not gonna need. That's why I prefer the kind of outside in. Only create things that you are gonna need, because they are part of the API. So I'm not gonna delete it now, but wasted effort. Anything that is not being used is always wasted effort, unless it has been about providing you with the knowledge. Okay, that's all. I'm gonna finish. I have talked enough. This has gone for more than I originally expected, but I have enjoyed quite a lot. Thank you very much for your time.